it because you cannot do it alone. You have your own brand, you know what you stand for, but you can't do it alone. You have to have your pack.
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. We have Karen Velandia on today, which is a good friend for several years. I'm really excited to tell everybody what's going on.
I'm so excited. Finally happened.
You're finally here.
Yeah.
Finally.
I love it.
Yep, we've been looking forward to this conversation for a while. You've been on our schedule for a while, and we have a bunch of different segments. So we have media and we have business. I'm excited that we're going to blend both of them together because
Karen fits them all.
Yeah, you are a marketer and you help businesses with operating their marketing department, which I think is really cool.
And do real estate investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically just live here. It's fine. We like it.
I know.
like it.
If I'm not in the studio, I'm like downstairs closing.
It's true, which is cool. So let's just talk a bit about what you do. So you have this academy that you help business owners, specifically real estate agents, market their company. So talk about the academy a little bit.
Yeah. So I think that the different businesses that I own, I'm based always on how to get people online, how to teach them how to actually be online, and then everything on marketing related. So after that, I started thinking how I can serve people on the best way possible and their different niches.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. Local businesses, they need to actually know and understand a little more, kind of wake up on that sense that you need to be online to be present in front of people, because that's where you got to meet your people where they are, which is on their phones. So you got to be present there. And then after talking to my mom, she's a real estate agent for about 15 years. And I saw her struggling with finding leads, getting the same referrals over and over, not having the same amount of leads, cold calling, door knocking, all those things that, not anymore. You don't need to anymore. Sure. And then I told her, well, I'm a marketer. I've been a marketer for 15 years. I'm going to help you do that. So I started getting into the world of real estate on that sense, helping her to promote herself online. She was shy on camera. She didn't know what to say. I'm like, just ask people questions. That was the first thing. Mm-hmm. And then from there, she started getting traction. She even started getting hate from people on Facebook. But I'm like, you're doing good.
Yeah. The jealousy has set in. You are winning.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, it was 5 hate comments and then 100 I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So from there, everything changed. To my perspective, is if I can help her, I can help more other realtors do the same.
So I love that.
So tell me about the academy specifically, though. So I know that you are a consultant and a coach. You help business owners understand the mindset and the discipline it takes to be a marketer online. But the academy is a way for somebody to kind of plug in to y'all's system and not necessarily get the one-on-one coaching, but be a part of a community that's helping with marketing. So talk about the academy specifically.
Yeah, so the academy is literally a university, a marketing university for real estate agents. So
sounds so fancy.
And it actually, the model that's how it's designed is actually you go to school online, of course, and then you get to talk to your partners, your other peers that are going through the same levels. So the academy has 3 major levels per se. So the first is branding. You need to be looking into your branding that ties a lot to your mindset. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be a luxury seller's agent or a luxury buyer's agent, whatever it is, you need to think about how you're going to reach those people, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's part of your branding. You're not going to be selling distressed homes and talking about luxury,
Yeah.
So there. And then also the realtors, what has been big in that sense is you can do it. And that's a mindset thing. We need to open their minds. In the academy, we do all that a lot. It's 80% mindset, 20, whatever you do. And so from there, that's branding. The second part is lead generation on automatic. how to build sales funnels. We talked about that before. How to build your own first landing page without relying on your brokerage.
Yeah.
Bring you leads from the online world. And the third one, which is people think that's the first step, but it's actually the third one, is social media. Because you already know what you're talking about, now you're going to promote your sales funnel to get more leads.
I don't know if it's people think it's the first step or they're just freaking lazy, right? They
Yeah,
don't want to put in the work.
It's like, I am here, I'm a president, I'm going to wait.
I created a page. It's like, congratulations.
Yeah.
You know, no one knows about the page.
Exactly.
They go and do it.
Well, that, and also you got to take the 2 steps back. I mean, I completely agree with you that branding is the first step. When we're talking about operating systems with our business owners, part of that is being able to identify who your ideal client is.
Yeah.
And that's part of your brand. Like, who are you going to be marketing to? How, and what does that type of person want to be associated with? And you've got to be able to live that value. You got to be able to be that person to be able to attract that person to you. You got to be able to build a profile to what that person looks like.
That's the key is the attraction. I met with a group this morning, and the guy was now today in his level of success very unapologetic of saying, like, there's certain people I don't want to work with. And I'm like, we need to do more about thinking of that from the beginning. You don't necessarily, like, yes, you have to hustle. Yes, you have to grind. Yes, you want to help everybody in your community. But I still don't want to help the jerks. If your values don't align, then we're not going to have a good working relationship. And so it's not going to be a long-standing relationship. And I don't want to invest time and energy and effort in that, right? Mm-hmm. But if you don't have your own values defined, how can you put it out into the universe to even say, like, are you attracted to who I am as a person? So yes, branding, absolutely.
Branding and how we use it in the community is branding with a purpose. Like, do you want to be in the real estate industry for the longest time? Are you playing for the long term? Like, you have a purpose, you want to help thousands of people. Like, what it like wakes you up on night? Like, what is that thing that you want to do? Yeah,
because it's fleeting.
Because that's the majority of real estate agents. Like, being honest, they just got there because the money was easy, right? And
not today.
And then 2 years from now, it's like, I'm lost. I don't want to do this. This is BS.
Well, it's because most of the time, the first year or two, they're doing business with all their friends and family.
Yeah.
Once you've put all those people in that new home, or you've helped them sell a home, now you got to go find actual people that don't know you.
Now it gets serious.
That don't love you. You got to actually go market yourself and brand yourself and put people. And you can tell somebody who doesn't know how to brand themselves, or they haven't taken the time to exercise to do it. It's they either they have a page and it's just a whole bunch of random stuff, and or it's just a bunch of graphics. Or they come to you and they say, "I want to do this. I just don't know what to say. Right. What do I say? What do I say? How do I say it? How do I do this?" It's like,
who are you and who are you speaking to?
If you
answer those two questions.
If you can look at those two things and clearly know what those things are, and you can make a list of 100 things very quickly about what does that person want to hear, and I know exactly how to say it because I know what they want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Branding is the first step.
Yeah, and then what happened with my mom is, like, she didn't do that at the beginning, but she actually had it. Because she was working with Hispanic people, but she didn't realize that was part of her branding.
Right.
And so now, after a little while, she started like, okay, what are the most common questions that they come to me for? And I'm just going to go on a Facebook Live and I'm going to answer questions. I don't care who's looking. And I was behind the camera, of course, like, talk to me. And that's how I've been able to help all the people. It's like, okay, so after the branding, people want to come to you, but because you're educating. It's not because you just post something on social media that says just sold or under contract. That's not going to do anything for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry for the people who do that. The majority of realtors do, because that's how they told you to do it. But the whole point is, like, how are you building that trust? Are you giving information out before they even call you? Mm-hmm. Are you there giving them information and, like, all that? So that's how
solve their problems.
Yeah.
Ease their anxiety.
Yeah.
Coach them through the process.
And then from there, you just have inside of the academy, we give out a CRM system. And the CRM, it's to help them to build their first lead magnet, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And then we give them the whole template so they can actually just plug and play, get the first lead magnet out, and then now the fun part is go on the camera and tell how amazing your lead magnet is. Yeah. You're now not talking about you as an agent. You're talking about the expertise, and you're educating. Yeah.
Yeah. So the CRM part of it, the funnel. I think people ought to hear that. Like, you're in step 2. You're going to now step into a lead generation funnel. Mm-hmm. So explain to people, like 101, what is a lead funnel?
So a lead magnet per se is a piece of information in exchange for their information.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a give and take. I don't want your info if I don't give you anything back.
Yeah.
Because it's not how relationships are. So if you want this that could help you make your life easier, and I have it, I'm going to give it to you, but I might need your info in exchange. So if I have something out, for instance, so that's the lead magnet. And then the lead funnel is you're taking people from a state of consciousness of, I don't know who you are, I have no idea, but I have this pain. Like there's something I need to figure out. I don't know how to find the best agent. I don't know what the area is best for me. I'm relocating, like all these things. And then that's their need. And then you go there, you meet them there. It's like, hey, are you looking to relocate? Here are 5 steps. Just download it. And then they go to your funnel. So it's a page. There's a regular landing page. Here's what you can find. Download the guide or video, whatever. Put their info in, and you're gonna get it. And boom, now they have a second level of consciousness. They already trust you with their info. That's one step. And then now I'm gonna consume the content. I'm gonna decide if I really want to give you a call.
Gotcha. So once they get into that second stage of consciousness, are you encouraging people to reach out to them at that point and call them?
The whole idea is for them to reach out to the agent.
Gotcha.
Instead of them giving them a call.
Gotcha.
Also, we do the part of that automation is to have automated emails. So after they download that PDF, they send an automatic email like, here's the PDF, download it. If you need anything, just let me know. Here's my phone number. Mm-hmm. Super soft. The second email, who I am. Third email, hey, if you're ready.
Calling me or not.
Yeah. If you're ready, here's how we can get started on this matter. Talking about back to the PDF they downloaded.
Gotcha. And to tie it all together, the branding's critical because if you don't know what your client's problems are, you're not going to be able to get them to the top of your funnel with your magnet to then enter the lead funnel. So you've got to know. And look, if you're trying to target somebody but you don't know them clearly enough, you might say something that attracts somebody you're not interested in attracting because the magnet's attracting the wrong type of person. So you really have to be able to be in tune from a branding standpoint of, like Lauren said, who are you?
Who are you?
And then who are you trying to attract? And then you got to be able to define that person you're trying to attract really well, identify their issues that are between them and their goal, and then put that at the top of the funnel.
Put that on top of the funnel.
And so when you're encouraging people to when you're offering that carrot, right, whatever that value is, you're trying to add that magnet, are you paying that? Are you doing ads with that? Or are you organically trying to push that out to your current followers?
Well, in my business now we do both, but for the whole approach is that you start with organic first.
Gotcha, okay.
So you start organic social media strategy that super simple and easy. You can spend just 2 hours filming videos, doing as quick as possible, and also putting your lead magnet on Google.
Yeah. So you said super simple and easy. The third thing to that is organic is usually free.
Yeah.
You're not paying for ads.
You're not paying for ads. And whenever you're getting more traction in your pages and you're getting more people recognize you, you can start boosting the posts that did better. Mm-hmm. So that way you can spend a little more money and it's going to give you can spend a little less money than if you have any other posts that people don't care about.
Yeah.
So pick that one that's doing well. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying well when people are starting, I don't know, 1,000 views. I think it's not bad. Yeah. And then from 1,000 views, you just boost it out like, no, I don't know, $20. And I've got like $1 per lead. So I got 20 leads already from one post.
Yeah.
It's doable.
So when when you tell, and I'm asking a lot of questions, I think people will be interested in the technical side of this too. When you're asking Google or Facebook to market directly to somebody, like you're asking to boost a post, is the academy teaching them how to go through that process technically? Like, can you say, I want to talk to friends of these people that are already my friends? Be specific.
Yeah. So there's a course inside of the academy that is more kind of like the advanced course. Well, the ones that get
Getting your
there,
masters.
yeah, the ones that get there, they're really. We have a few people in there. They're really like already getting leads from organic, and we have two different approaches to to paid advertising. In Meta, you can promote from your Facebook page directly or from Meta ads, which is it tells you everything how to do it.
Yeah.
But then also there's another option which is cheaper if you go directly to your Instagram account and boost it from the little blue button.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's cheaper. The lead is cheaper.
Yeah. I think all this is really important for people to actually understand. Like, I mean, you're going to a lot of, you hear all these, you get these YouTube ads and all this stuff about doing these academies and doing these programs, but like having actual substance behind it and teaching people actually how to go through the program and show them how to actually do this themselves is super important. I mean,
somebody local that you can
exactly
actually sit down and talk to and has proven successes, and you use it for your own business. That's what I love. Like, I always trust somebody, you know, like proof of concept, you know?
Yeah, and I've got people, well, that's how I attract my own leads for my academy. And they see, one call one day, she was like, and I was like, I'm always asking, like, for research. It's like, what was the video that caught your attention to join? And she was like, I don't know. It was like 20 videos. I've been looking, like, you've been showing up, like, popping up on my phone every single day. So I don't know. I think it's a accumulation of all the times that I've seen you.
You're like, check, it's working.
And that's the thing, is like, the more you just got to be up there. If you think that one post, if you feel discouraged because it didn't work, you're not going to do anything. Do it as many times as you need to.
Well, and again, go back to your operating system when it comes to your marketing. You have to be consistent with it. You're not going to see results in 1 or 2 years. It might take 3 or 4 years for the momentum to all catch on. Once you've done it for enough time, you like, if something doesn't work for a couple of months, then you can pivot. But you gotta put the test out there. You gotta make the machine start working for itself.
You gotta be consistent.
Yeah, you gotta be consistent at some point. Even like the podcasting, right? People always ask, like, you know, when do you get ROI? Why do you do it? You might get 3 or 4 likes and, you know, a couple of views on a video. People get discouraged, but it's really an accumulation of it. And you got to just test and ask the question, right? You got to do the research. You got to ask people, like, are you seeing it? And or hear people say, like, I enjoy this conversation or that conversation. It might not translate into the production you want on the internet, but is it actually growing your business? That's the question. Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Jared. What's like, how often do you guys test things out? To like kind of like pivot, like to pivot, especially with content.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, literally the first year that we did content, we were just putting volume out there. And we did a lot of it. And as our operating systems got more refined, we started being more clear about what our ideal client was and what they want to hear and how they want us to say it. And so we started being more particular about how we were saying that. And it just took a lot of reps to get to like to figure that out. But we're running every week, we run metrics on all of our social media accounts. So Allie's tracking the most successful posts and how we're saying those things and how we're delivering them. And, you know, at first it was more conversation based where we were pulling clips from conversation, but the context would get lost sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know, those are good for YouTube and longer form stuff. But the short reels and clips that you put on the internet, the YouTube shorts, that more of like, I want to talk directly to the camera. But people get,
and it's changed per person.
We
focused a lot this last quarter on like which style fits which attorney best, right? Because Jared and I's style, I mean, we're not uncomfortable doing whatever style, you know, comes to us that day, right? But I'm such a direct person that we're finding that some direct content is going to land a little bit better coming from me. Yeah. So trying to make that switch, we're trying.
Yeah, we're doing it. And the thing is too, like when you can be more intentional about knowing who your ideal client is, you know exactly what they want to hear and how to say it. So like our ideal client is an executive or business owner, and we have a whole profile for them. But to keep it short, their goal is to grow their business, and they have 3 issues. Just like you are, ours has a mindset they need to have. They have an operating system that needs to be refined, and they have legal structure of their business and how they operate their business from that standpoint that is important, right? So those are the 3 things that we push on. And a lot of people like us think you got to have a unique video every single time you post. But the reality is, if you're trying to attract 1,000 customers in a year, and that person may see one out of every 10 of your videos.
Yeah.
If every one of them is unique, they might have wanted to hear the one you said last week, but they didn't hear it because they weren't on social media that day, but they heard this one that wasn't applicable. And so we want to make sure that when somebody listens to our content, they're listening to what we want them to hear, and that we know it's mindset, operating systems, and legal structure. So we're going to push that every time. And not only that, the way that we deliver our content has changed. It used to just be like, this is a power of attorney. This is a bond for deed. This is an operating system. But we might be talking to somebody who's an MBA program who's trying to learn how to be like what business is in general, but that's not our ideal client.
Yeah.
Now our conversations or our content is, if you're a business owner wanting to grow, this is the mindset you need to have.
Yeah, direct.
Or we've had this problem too, and this is how we solve it.
And that way, our ideal client knows that we're talking to them. Because if you're a business owner looking to grow, we want you to hear. Yeah. And so we're going to say, if you're a business owner looking to grow, this is a struggle that we've seen, and this is how it's been overcome. Or this is how we coach our clients around that issue. Or this is what you need to do if you're looking into marketing.
Yeah.
And so from our standpoint, our videos change over time just in that way. We're way more intentional about how we say it. And we're still getting better about it, and we're still learning.
Still tracking the data.
Still cracking.
See what's landing.
Yeah. I had a conversation the other day with someone in the ClickFunnels community, and he is one of my business partners for one of the communities that we have in Latin America. He is inside of the mastermind, the Atlas mastermind for Russell Brunson. They paid $150,000 a year. And we were talking, and he was like, Karen, you need to test faster. You need to fail faster.
Yeah.
And that was like a year ago. And I was like, that is true. Like, I need to actually fail faster. Like, I love failure. Yeah. And then from that year, I had a conversation last year. And then from now on, I've been testing so fast. And I've been failing so fast. And I tell my team, it's like, I don't care. Just do it. I don't care if you fail. Like, you fail, because if we fail faster, we're going to get to answer faster. Mm-hmm. So the more you fail, the faster you're going to get there. Mm-hmm. And now we're at the point, it's like, we had a lot of failures. Now we know what we're working at.
And you might not call it your operating system, but part of you talk about A/B testing, right? I mean, it's the data that we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking at what you did on a consistent basis, seeing what worked, and you're putting more focus on that. So you're being more and more intentional and refined about what you're doing. And that's all part of the process of it's all part of the process of how you evaluate whether your business is successful or it's working. It's your system of looking back at what you've done and how do I improve. Yeah. We say it all the time that the whole purpose of being on this earth and the gift of time is for us to become a better version of ourselves every day. And if you don't take advantage of that, you're going to be stuck where you're at, and more than likely falling backwards, because if you're not growing and improving, you're probably going back.
Yeah.
And so you have to.
Mindset.
You have to. And again, similarly, when we talk about, it all kind of boils down to how you're tracking and managing and evaluating your business as a whole. But like creating an environment where you can look at things and saying, it's okay with failing, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how we can fix that and make it better. Yeah. Talking about issues that you have within your organization, talking about things that worked and that didn't work, and breeding an environment where people understand that they can come in and talk about something that's a struggle, and nobody's going to be judging them or be mad at them. I had a conversation with somebody on our team yesterday. She said, I felt like you were frustrated with me. I'm like, but I'm frustrated at our process. I'm not frustrated at you. Mm-hmm. We need to do something different to make sure that we're improving and fixing that issue. But I'm not mad at you. If I'd be frustrated if you were frustrated at me for trying to change. But if you're open to the changing and making this better, there's no way I'm never going to be mad at you about that. Yeah. That's the whole point of the way we do business. It's
an improvement.
Oh my God. We can talk about team leadership for a long time too, because this is probably like similar to what you're talking about, but I have my video editor, for instance, the one that does the ads and put everything out there. He was frustrated because at some point we didn't have the sales we wanted to have. And he was frustrated about that. I'm like, you don't need to care about the sale.
It's not personal. Yeah.
No, and then don't care about the numbers of the sale. What you need to do is focus on how you can make better videos that get people to watch. What you focus on your metric should be eyeballs instead of sales. Like, sales are going to come. That's a consequence of how many people see that video. So now your perspective is going to change from, we're not making enough sales because of your video. Now, how I can make the best video and 100 other versions of it So, and then now it's like the same thing. It's like, okay, I change that mindset, and your team is gonna come from you.
Yeah.
Well, I think the important mindset in sales that people forget, and it's strange because so many, I don't know a better way of saying it, people pleasers go into sales because they like being able to help other people, right? They're people-oriented persons. And so they'll go in, but then they take it personal and they're trying to control the decision maker and the client. You will never be in control of the client's decision to do business with you, ever. So take ownership of only the things that are within your control. So in your example, the only thing that he can control is the quality of the video and trying different things to see if he can make the video itself better. That's it. You cannot control how they perceive it. You can only control how you put it out. So they have to focus constantly on that output without having that personal, emotional attention given right to the decision maker, which is the client.
But the leadership too, the part of it that you're as an intentional leader and being clear on the communication expectations is that you gave that person a number to track and you made it clear about what their real priority needed to be so that they weren't attached to something they couldn't control, or that wasn't a priority for them. And I think that's super important. Like one of the things that we coach our clients to do is make sure that everybody has a number that they're responsible for. Some people have more than one, but at least everybody has to have at least one number so that they know whether they're on track and doing what they need to be doing. And that way they can have some form of evaluation of whether they're doing. And not only that your company is on track, right? The number needs to be relevant, right? It can't just be a random number. So, we have people who track the number of days it takes them to accomplish a task, or the number of outreach that they did, or the number of leads that came in. Like everybody has a number. Yeah. And so we don't want to make it overcomplicated. We want to make it intentional and make sure that you understand this is what's important.
Each role has its own metrics.
And to be and that's part of leadership, right? To be able to communicate that clearly.
That's another different story.
And then holding people accountable to it too, like making sure that they know that on the back end, you're going to be looking at that and saying, if you didn't do this, then we either need to figure it out. And if you're consistently not, then we're going to have a conversation around that may be different than.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it goes back to you as a business owner. You take ownership to build this business or brand around what you want to do. So the first clients should be your teammates or the people that you hire. Like those should be the people that are actually open to buy your product. You have to sell the product to them first and sell that vision to them first. So after that, they can just go with you for years and years, and they can have that ownership on that sense. Yeah. That I said Henry Ford. He was the one who invented having Saturdays and Sundays off. I don't know if you knew that. How that happened was that he was building cars, and then he realized that all the people that were working with him, they didn't have a car. So he started to saying, like, how could we build cars for people, like their families? So they started getting input from them, for the workers. It's like, how it can make you, like, tell me your ideal car, and then we're just going to design it. And they started putting it out there. So they came up with one of the cars. I don't remember what it was. And now, because it was everyone's idea in the team, they built a car and started selling it. And then the workers now want to buy it. So they're starting getting I'm going to work extra hours. I'm going to do that so I can get that car. And he said, well, now that they have that car, they need time to spend it with their families, to go places with their car and their families. So he started having Saturday off first. It was Sunday off first. And everyone in the industry hated him. It's like, why are you doing this? Now we have to do the same. Yeah. But it's a whole thing that changed the world just by listening to your people in your
interesting.
I
was wondering where you're going with that, but it makes a lot of sense. Whenever you're building something and getting people's buy-in for it, they're going to be the one that's going to go out and promote it and sell it. Building raving fans.
And do a great job at it, because you cannot do it alone. You have your own brand, you know what you stand for, but you can't do it alone. You have to have your pack.
Well, it's interesting too, because you talk to a lot of real estate agents that they end up hiring or working with or impacting somebody who they help buy and sell a house, and they end up working on the team. We interviewed somebody last week from Slidell, Layla Perez and Amanda Beltran, right? And they were two real estate agents that at one point in the past had worked together. Layla helped Amanda buy a house, and now Amanda works with Layla because they had a great experience together, and they shared values, and Amanda appreciated the product Layla put out there, and she wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so now they build the brand together, and then it's actually a really cool story about how they. But there's a lot of people who have that same experience. I know the story of another agent who was working at Ashley Furniture. Another agent walked in, was talking to her, really liked the way that he was selling, and attracted him to come work with her just based on their experience of buying a couch from each other. So
that's good.
It is important to make sure that you're on track with that. So let's talk about
great content because it's storytelling.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Let's talk about your real estate investing before we hop off. So a lot of business owners who have a lot of things going on want to get into real estate investing. We hear that a lot. And
TikTok tells them to do it.
Yeah, that too.
Sure.
That too. This podcast is viral. It's going to go viral, so a lot of people are going to.
Oh my god! I saw TikTok. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that, but I saw TikTok one day. That was like when I first started wholesaling.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, "Whoa, you can actually like add automated text messages to the people. You can be on the beach and then having like 100 people texting at the same time, blah blah blah." And I was like, how did you get? And I started like 2 months ago. I'm like, no, it does not work that way.
It does not work that way. It does not. But man, they like to simplify a process.
No, not even. It's like just it doesn't work that way. It's just getting attention.
No, attention takes a lot of time and effort. But so as a real estate investor, what would you recommend if somebody was going to get into the real estate investing world and game, and they were a professional, have a job in a business like you do? What is the first step they need to do if they want to get into real estate investing?
I think you just be open. Just have your mind open to do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah.
It's just like figure it out on the process. You're not going to have anything solved. You just have to surround by people like you guys that can guide you through the process. Things that are probably not possible for you that you think. But when you talk to Jared, for instance, like, really, I had no idea. And then you start like adding the dots. It's like, that's how are so many billionaires in this country. That's how like millionaires are doing their whole thing. Like Grant Cardone, after one conversation we had, I was like, now I understand what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Like I now understand his business, because I didn't. But it's all about getting yourself out there, ask the right questions with the right people. Don't go on YouTube, don't go on TikTok. Just talk to people that are already doing it in your market.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I'm realizing more about real estate investing is that there's levels of involvement in which you can get into it, right? I mean, I know you do wholesaling, you got a couple rentals, but you're not in the business of building a giant portfolio right now, at least. You have other businesses that you're operating. But like, even like the BRRRR strategy, right? Like you can buy, renovate, rent it out, refinance, repeat the process, right?
Yeah.
The BRRRR strategy, and people are more familiar with that now than they were in the past, maybe. But you can take that in bite-sized chunks, right? Like you can buy something, renovate it, and flip it, and be in that part of the real estate game for a little while as you're kind of getting your feet wet while you have other things going on. And then at different phases of your life, you might be able to pick up other aspects of the real estate game. But you don't have to be like Grant Cardone and have a fund and raising a whole bunch of money and buying a whole bunch of stuff. You can be a part of it in whichever part of the part, as much or as little as you want to be. There's like opportunities to just lend money where you don't even have to be directly involved in a deal if you have the ability to lend some money.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different ways you can get into it. I just think that your perspective is unique because you do have this business that you're operating with the academy, but you also you do wholesaling, which is, you're lead generating just like you do at the academy.
Yeah.
And you're not buying properties, you're finding distressed properties and finding buyers and putting deals together for people. But again, the involvement that you have in the business is enough for you in the life that you're living and all the other priorities that you have, so that you can do both of those things at the same time.
Yeah, and then also like sometimes like some of the cash that I have for one deal, I can just put it back in my business, and then do it all over again. And then it's how it is. It's like if you have multiple businesses, you can just manage the way that you can grow all of them at the same time, and then have this. And for me, Jared, I think the past year has been more about seeing the people that I help to get their homes, their first like investment property, and like that excites me so much. It's like I am actually helping these people. There are no other way they can get access to these homes if it wasn't for me. and they tell me that too. It's like, I couldn't. I've been living here for 20 years and I can't get access to those unless I pay premium for a property that's on the market, for instance. So that's one thing. That's after that I started like, I understand why I'm actually doing this, because I keep doing it because I know I'm helping people. Yesterday I had we're gonna close on a deal soon, Friday. And I talked to this lady and she was like, well, this is a sacrifice for me. I am buying this property. I'm going to fix them up. I'm going to flip it. No, she's going to rent it. I don't know. But what I'm going to do, that money that I have, I've been saving that money for a long time. When my kid was turned 15, her 15th birthday is in like a couple months. And she was like, I'm saving that money for her party to go on a trip. But this is a sacrifice I'm making because she's not going to be able to have that party. Mm-hmm. But I'm buying something more important for her in the future. And you're allowing for me to have that opportunity. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's worth every penny. Yeah, of course.
And that's the part Lauren talks about. It's not always about just the money.
Yeah.
Right? If you're adding value and you're making an impact on people's lives like that, the reward you're looking for is going to come. It may not come in monetarily, but it more than likely will at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But it allows you to keep moving and working, and the mindset and the motivation that you have. It allows you to keep going whenever you have hard times. Because business is difficult. People and leadership is difficult. Growing businesses is difficult. Marketing can be difficult at sometimes. But when you have those types of rewards, the things that are outside of just the monetary benefit, it really does make it.
And you know what? Like if you're an investor, you're trying to get into investing and do the whole game and everything. If you think it's just because of the money, you're gonna get pushback from people that are actually in their purpose, and they're not gonna do business with you.
Right.
And I've seen so many other investors, they want to work with me, and I had conversations, and I just literally never talk to them again, even if I have the opportunity, just because. I mean, yeah, you're here for the money, and I can tell you're greedy. And out of that greediness, some people do really good in that, but it doesn't last very long.
No.
And then also, you guys have that too. It's like you got people to come over, and and they just, I repel those type of people, and I'm really good at like intuition, and I know.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, you tell people aren't being genuine. That's obvious.
Yeah.
I think for us, our easy way of doing that is our value of vocation. Because whenever I get into leadership development with anybody in our company and we're really breaking down our values, that's the one that's always the sticking point. Like, people automatically think of religion, or they'll think like, okay, marriage. But applying it to business, it's like, we're not trying to create some kind of cult. But what is your job fulfilling as who you are as a person? Like, if there's not something attached to who you are as a person that you are fulfilling in your role here, then you are just going to be punching a clock every day.
Yeah.
And then we're going to drive you crazy because we have a different level of commitment to what we're doing at Arena because it is our purpose.
Yeah.
So like you have to figure out what that is for you, or you're not going to have that vibe and excitement to come in every day. Because to Jared's point, like business is hard. Yeah. Serving people is hard, and we're in the service industry. So there is going to be frustration every single day, right? And so what else is getting you up here? Because you won't always have that motivation. Yeah. And sometimes we're not as disciplined as we want to be, right? We have that ebb and flow in life that we go through. So there has to be something drawing you in that you're fulfilling that purpose. Yeah. And for us, it's just that impact that we can have on our community, on our local ecosystem. And so we know that we're showing up, adding that value every day.
Yeah. And I think like just understanding that money is just energy.
Yeah.
And then that's how I see it, is money is just an exchange for something. It's not the whole destination. It's just a tool that takes you somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's why currency is different. It's all made up, and it's all different anywhere that you go.
No. Yeah.
It's an exchange.
Yeah. Exactly.
Money is energy. I don't think we'll leave it at that. That was a good way to end the conversation. It is true. I mean, it is just a tool for growth. So cool. Well, Karen, thanks for coming on today.
Of course.
Great
Thanks for
conversation.
having me, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to hear more about marketing because I love it. But I think that what you're talking about, sales funnels and branding, is important. So
Get these agents in the academy.
Yeah, let's do that.
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Thank you.